What's happening, everybody? Welcome back. This is the JR Wisdom channel. Once again, I appreciate you guys for tuning in. And if this is your first time checking out one of my videos, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button along with the bell. That way you receive all the notifications for all of my future videos. So with that being said, let's just jump right in this topic. I know you guys been waiting to hear it. It's been on social media for a while, especially with the advent of Kevin Samuels bringing these things about. And it's the 5 things that high value men look for in women. Not just your ordinary Joe, not just any guy randomly, because you know what they're going to say. But this is what high value men really look for, because a lot of the things that women tend to think men don't care about. So those 5 things right off top are fit, feminine, fun, cooperative, and submissive. So let's jump right into the first one, which why am I about to say the elephant in the room? Why am I about to say the elephant in the room? I'm not saying the elephant in the room because that's not the proper term, but it's fit, right? Basically what a high value man is looking for is a woman who's fit. And what that tells a man is that she cares about herself. She cares about her body. She cares about her health. She cares about her well-being, and she wants to look good for you at the end of the day. It's not just about those things that cover up or try to detract away from her body, which we see a lot of women doing these days, and that is makeup and weave. Let's not talk about education, but makeup and weave are 2 of the top things that women will invest like so much time and money into outside of the health and the body. All of that shot. At the end of the day, the weight is out of control. I believe what was the figure that he gave? 60% of most women are overweight. And I know you ladies are watching this. What about the men? What about the men? We're not talking about the men, and I'll get into the reason why later. But a man traditionally does not want a woman that weighs more than him, or a woman that has the weight of a man. And a lot of times, a lot of these thick sisters, or these women who, guys would typically call thick or whatever, they're well over 200, early 200s and whatnot. But because guys may be boosting them up, not to say that a overweight woman can't have a beautiful face or can't be pretty in the face. Some women you can look at, including myself, you'd be like, man, if she was just 50 or 60 pounds lighter, she would be cold. You know what I'm saying? And typically, a lot of that, not to say that bigger women don't have confidence, but typically you can see the change in certain women once they lose weight, which, the way they, as far as the selection, because they will enter a different selection of men at that point based off of losing weight. I see it all the time. You guys may have, you ladies who are watching may have girlfriends who you see may have access to a certain type of man, as opposed to certain other women just take what they can get. And I'm not trying to be offensive. I'm just being honest. I'm 38 years old. There's no time for jokes. A lot of y'all want to hear all this fairy tale stuff. So I'm just laying it out to you as far as that. The feminine portion of it. So this is a big thing in our community, obviously, about the aggression, the over aggression, the masculinity in certain women. And women will always say, well, it's the men that's putting us in a position where we have to be masculine, so on and so forth. We're left without what, it's a perpetuating cycle where we were raised by masculine mothers, and the mother competing with the daughter, and the fighting and all of this stuff like that. And it's just, like I said, it's just a perpetuating cycle. No man wants to deal with that. You don't need to have 2 men in the household. Okay. That's definitely a no-go. We don't want to have 2 men in the household. It's polarity. It's all about polarity. You have masculine and you have feminine. Not to say that either gender cannot have certain traits from either side. But I think you guys get what I'm saying in terms of that. Manners, same thing with manners. You got some women who just don't have any manners in terms of being feminine. They're just overly masculine, or just doing things that dudes do. And some of them, even as far as the femininity, have look like dudes or whatever. Basically, and a man doesn't want to really get with a woman that he feels like is looking like a dude. He wants, unless that's his preference. You know what I'm saying? But overall, you're looking for that opposite. You're looking for a feminine woman at the end of the day. A woman that just by you looking at her, it's just seduction. Just by, not to say that she's intended to do that, but just the way she carries herself is seductive. That femininity. I'll give you an example. There was a lady I coached a few years ago. She may still follow my channel, but she would rather pay men for sex than to just get dolled up, improve, things that make her more feminine. And she'd wonder why she would want a certain type of man, but she wouldn't want to put in the work to get that man. So she'd rather just approach men straight up and pay them. And it was like, when I was explaining it to her, I was like, do you want a feminine man? She said, no, I want a masculine man. So why do you think a masculine man wants, a masculine woman? So I had and it was like a light bulb went off in her head, but that's just another example. So on to the fun part of it. So this is variable, it just depends on who you are. But as I said before in other videos, no man wants a cold fish. No man wants a cold, dead fish. You got so many beautiful women out here who have no personality, don't feel like they have to talk, and they're really shallow. They really don't, it's really nothing you can relate to that person about. And I could never see myself in a relationship with someone that you can't even have a conversation with or find common ground with. And that's another thing, because a lot of people typically equate beauty to this being a nice person or this being a person you can converse with. And that's not always the case. And a lot of times it's really not the case. They just look at that outside exterior and you have automatic expectations. And that's not how it goes. When you're with your partner, you should be like children. Y'all should be able to have fun together. And that's where the whole chemistry and cohesion comes in. You know what I mean? So if you're not able to do that as a woman, and you're just like basically pretentious and stuck up, and you feel like a man should be blessed just to be in your presence, then, most high value men, they don't really care about that unless he's just going to use you for one purpose. You know what I mean? So it's about finding out. In relationships, it's about finding out what he likes, just like he needs to find out what you like. So just food for thought in terms of that one. Cooperative. This is like one of the number one things in many relationships in our community as well, is finding a woman that's cooperative. When I say cooperative, I don't mean that she needs to be a footstool or a doormat. Same thing with the next one, being submissive, which is what I'm gonna get into as well. Cooperative means, and just in general, just agreeable. You're not the source of contention in the relationship at all. You're not always looking to start an argument or looking to one up someone or prove that you're better than the person or better than him. You're not in that. You're not always causing a problem. And I've experienced this in my past, that you can be dealing with someone who's always wants to argue, always wants to start trouble. You're trying to get something done, or you're trying to move forward and progress, and they're like the antithesis of what your ideology is, or the way you see things should go. And instead of you guys coming to a common ground, you have women like this who are constantly looking to start trouble, because that's all they know from their past is causing trouble, arguing, being belligerent and things like that. Just refusing to be cooperative, because they look at it as it being a sign of inferiority or submitting, which I'll get into next. The whole nagging thing. Nagging, that's where that comes in as well. You constantly nagging. If you want to help out and continue to build as an asset instead of trying to tear somebody down. That's what it's about. Building up, being an asset instead of a detriment in the relationship, which is some of the stuff I've already covered. You got to see the big picture and being supportive. So that's what being cooperative is. Now, the last one, being submissive. So this whole submissive thing, I think ladies take this to a whole other level. And it shouldn't even be that way. They still take this as being a footstool or being a doormat, or listen to what a man says he wants in a woman, and he'll describe a slave. Not the case. A feminine woman naturally doesn't want to lead a man. She shouldn't be leading a man overall. It's not in her nature to lead the man or be that head of the household, that matriarch, while the man sits back and is like her son. No, it's not naturally that way. And if a lot of you may be submitting to the wrong man, a man that really doesn't do anything for you, but he demands that you submit to him, and he can't even provide for you. If he can't provide for you, he's definitely not a high value man. So that's the first thing. So if you have a high value man who's supporting you overall, leading the household, basically making sure everything is up and running and whatnot, then by all means, support that man, submit to that man the same way he should submit to some of the things that you have. And that's the dynamic of a relationship. It's not a tyrant and a peasant. It's a cohesive, you're equal but different. The man in any marriage should be the leader, not the other way around. Otherwise, you got a soft man, or you need to get you a new man, or you just don't need a man at all. Same thing about you should be allowing a man to be a man instead of you trying to be the man in the relationship or in the household. Women say slick stuff, degrading a man in a marriage, emasculating a man by making certain comments and doing certain things. And at some point, some men just get tired of it. You know what I mean? So just food for thought in terms of what submission really is. Submission does not mean a negative thing. Just like a man should submit to you on certain things as well, which I'll cover in a different video. So some things, those are the 5 things. Some other things that I just want to talk about, which, you see we missed out on wealth, education, you having a car, you paying your own bills, and you having a house. It's not necessary, baby. You know what I mean? So with that being said, I appreciate you guys tuning in. If you feel like this video has been a benefit, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And share this video if you feel like it'll help someone. Let me hear your comments and thoughts on this topic as well. I'm anxious to hear what you guys have to say. And if you got any topics or any other comments that you don't want to put on here, make sure you email them to me. If you're seeking a one-on-one with yours truly, make sure you email me as well. All the links are in the description. If you haven't got my new book, The Law of Attraction for the Pessimistic Mind, make sure you guys pick it up. It's available in paperback and ebook on Amazon.com. The link is in the description. I appreciate you guys picking it up. And once again, check out these videos here related to this topic that I discussed. Hopefully you find something you like. With that being said, peace be upon you and the mercy and blessings of the Almighty. And I will catch you guys on the next one. I'm out of here. Peace.